quarantine season. So like I was saying, there's goods and bad, pros and cons to it. One of the cons, and I feel like everyone could relate, being stuck in a house, four walls, not being able to like go out and do things that you want to do that you're used to doing, like going out with your friends, going out to the stores, the mall, the bars, the clubs, just having a good time because you had a long week at work. You're going through a breakup or you're just stressed from work. You just want to go out, unwind, decompress,
escape reality. But
all that shit was locked down. Like you had to stay home. So for me, it was a very difficult time in my life because in January I just got out of a 4-year relationship that really broke me down. February I lost my stepfather, and then March is when coronavirus hit the U.S. So now that we're stuck in the house, I'm like, damn. And before we were stuck in the house, like we was hitting the gym pretty consistently. So like that was one positive thing that was going on, and just having that stress reliever, going to the gym, clear my mind, getting fit, being healthy.
Yeah, because it was the 7th week.
It was the 7th week
so we
that we
was
going
7 weeks consecutive. Like we were going from not working out, not being active at all, to going
consistently
to the gym every day after work.
Day.
We were dedicated.
And you gotta understand, like in the beginning, there was times that I didn't even want to go, and I was an athlete growing up, so going to the gym, like I was always looking forward to that. And there was a couple times I called John, I'll be like, yo, like I'm just not feeling it. I'm not doing it. Like I'm pissed off. I'm about to break down, and he encouraged me to go so I can release that fucking stress, that anger, that hurt on some fucking iron, on the treadmill and all that. And like he had to really push me. And when I lost my stepfather, I went to the gym that whole week. I took a week off from work. I couldn't work because that shit was on my mind, and I didn't want to be stuck in the house. I went to the gym. I obviously didn't go to the gym the day up. I went the next day, and the next day, that whole week, with all that on my mind.
Yeah, it's therapeutic.
You know what I'm saying? So once we were locked down, knowing all the shit that happened to me, the relationship, my stepfather, the gyms being locked down, now I'm forced to be stuck in the house and be stuck in my mind and think about everything that's transpired. Only 3 months in, and all this stuff has happened. It was so toxic. It was so negative being stuck like in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? But I learned like family is everything. You know what I'm saying? And being able to communicate with my mom, communicate with my sister, and just have each other's backs and just be each other's comedians, therapists, doctors, just being able to talk to one another, help each other out. That was a huge like weight off my shoulder, being able to vent to family, because for me, we're not really lovey-dovey and like like emotional, like, oh my god, I love you, sis, oh I love you. Like we're not really like that. I mean, obviously we love each other, but we don't show it like that. You know what I'm saying? So being able to have both of them in the house during that time, especially my sister, because we go way back, and being able to vent to one another and me breaking down in front of her, that just goes to show the type of year that I was having. Being able to open up and let that go, like I felt better at the end of the day, and being able to stay up and have those conversations, and then we would go out to the stores to grab the stuff that we need, and she's the one that was teaching me how to cook, and like just shadowing her, watching her how she does it, and from watching movies and just cracking jokes. Like that was such a big relief for me, and that's what I needed. At the end of the day,
you grew closer. Like all that dramatic stuff that happened to you in your personal life. It's hard to accept it, but you had to go through that. You had to go through that so you could face your fears and face that gap that you had with your family. You guys lost someone special to you, your stepfather. So you guys losing him, you guys all had something in common to deal with. Like, you guys grieved together, and it brought you guys closer. And for you to open up to somebody that you never even spoke to, like, you even period of time of not speaking to her, because siblings have fights, you know what I mean? Because as close as you are in age, when you grew up, you just remember all those grudges you had against each other. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like growing up and being adults, we're always busy, so we don't really have the time to like sit and talk,
Yeah,
we conflicting schedules. Exactly. We grow apart, and we're just so busy and caught up with our own lives that we just forget to have a sit down and just talk and catch up.
But nobody taught us to do that.
Of course not.
So it wasn't normal to do that. So we didn't know what we wasn't doing.
So like I had to learn for myself during that period. I was the one that had to break the ice and like talk.
I know,
because
that's what quarantine did to us. It forced us to be in that situation.
Exactly, because I was always so like closed-minded. I always kept my thoughts to myself. I let everything bottle up, and that was toxic to me.
Yeah.
Because like that's killing myself. Not being open and communicative with my thoughts, my feelings, all of that. So the quarantine was definitely beneficial when it comes to the mental health. In the beginning, of course, it was rough, but I was able to grow from that and learn a lot about myself. And to this day, continuing to mold my character and to continue to move forward with everything that I learned during that period.
Yeah, I mean that's what quarantine did to a lot of us. Like we were all stopped from our own personal goals, personal endeavors. Like the world we live in is kind of driven by money, driven by success. Like people just want to keep going, go. Yeah. So quarantine hit us, boom, we were all forced to stop, take that step back and reflect. And just, we were challenged and we had to accept that challenge. Some people like to, have that negative domino effect where they just start thinking negative things and they just feel like this weighted blanket over them with negativity and they can't get themselves out of it because it's just a spiral effect. And sometimes you have to get in that spiral effect and get that low in order to pick yourself up, because you can't pick yourself up if you don't fall. And you can't be scared to fall. You got to take that jump.
Yeah.
And that's what quarantine did to most of us. It opened our eyes, opened our minds that life isn't granted to us. Tomorrow's not promised. And we took it more seriously now that there's this virus that's deadly and, we don't know what's going to happen. They're talking about vaccines. Like, it won't be here another 2 years. So are we going to be locked down for 2 years? Like,
are we going to be wearing masks the whole time?
Yeah. At first they said only 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're only going to be locked down for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks, and another 2 weeks. And then when we were locked down for like almost a month and a half, all right. Like they're giving out unemployment to people, $600. Like, all right, this is serious. If government is giving people money, like they know that they don't want people to lose out, and another recession comes in, the economy goes down. So they're supplying $600. Like people that were only making $200 a week, they're getting the $600 check. So it's kind of like unbalanced, but they were putting it back in the economy. So the companies are doing fine, but the small businesses were really affected during this quarantine. But this 2020 challenge, we defeated it, and we got to keep going. We got to, like you said, continue to mold ourselves. Like, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
We opened our eyes to a new perspective, to a new mindset. So now let's continue to build this foundation that we're standing on and just build around it.
And I did just that in the summertime.
Yeah, summer, Like you said, we're having all this time, but everything's closed around us, so we can't enjoy the free time we have.
I felt like the summertime, they started to like loosen up a little bit. We were experiencing some type of normalcy, being able to go out a bit.
Yeah, outside dining since the weather is nice.
Cookouts and all that stuff. And
then TikTok blew up, so everybody's dancing. Everyone's dancing. Everyone became a dancer in the quarantine.